G'day, I'm Dave Symes.
I'm Tim Hart.
We are Boy and Bear, and you are watching Toasted.
Finally, guys. Sorry about this. Welcome to Amsterdam.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's good to be here.
You just arrived, right, from Berlin?
Yeah, we got in last night just in time for a nice meal, and yeah, happy to be here on this sunny day. It's beautiful.
It's incredible. I mean, I'm sitting outside in my t-shirt. It's November. I mean,
I'm still rubbed up, you know.
Yeah, you're from Australia.
Being Australian, it's still cold, but it's beautiful.
I say thumbs up for global warming, actually, because normally it should be snowing. Hey, new album out, Limit of Love, guys. What a fantastic third album.
Yeah, thanks so much. It's sort of one of those things. It was a long time coming for us to get to the point where we could do a record like this, and it's pretty special to have it out now in Holland.
Hey, third album out. One thing that, of course, I read a lot about your music. I read a lot about the albums and the release you had. One thing from Rolling Stone that I really liked, they said, well, you know, normally you produce your first album and you get your whole life to write songs for the first album. You put it out, it's a success. Then you have to write the second album. You only have 2 weeks' time because you did all the promoting and the touring. And then if you're lucky, you produce a good second album. And then the real test is the third album. What are you going to do? With you guys, it seems like it was just a steep, gradual way up, improving all the time. Was this a plan? I mean, do you guys plan producing music like this?
I'm not sure if you plan anything in this sort of industry, except that you sort of have dreams and you hope that you're constantly getting better and improving and learning each time you make a record. And I think for the band, you know, even with Harlequin Dream and Moonfire, the band learned a lot from both those recording experiences, and hopefully with Limit of Love we've taken what we've learned and made some new decisions to make an album, you know, that we feel is perfect for us at the moment.
It's not just you writing songs now, it's a group effort, right?
Yeah, it is the whole band. I mean, the whole band's always written together, but on this record there was a little bit of a different way that some of the songs were started. So sometimes we started from the band playing, you know, all their instruments from the beginning. So maybe things are started more from a rhythm, like a rhythm section point of view, or a guitar hook, and then the vocal melodies and lyrics have come afterwards. Whereas in the past that would normally be maybe a sketch that was there first, and we would add the band around it. So slightly different sound, different groove.
There's a lot of material online on the making of this album. One thing that I loved was 5 of you guys strumming a guitar, an acoustic guitar, and I was like, wow, man, this is really a wall of sound by acoustic guitars. Did you actually use that part on the record?
Yeah, I mean, it's on the record. It's one of those things, you know, like you got that George Harrison sort of My Sweet Lord vibe, and we just tried a few different things, and you know, you use what works well, and you just throw out what doesn't work, and it's a bit of fun.
I mean, who comes up with the idea to strum 5 guitars at the same time? I mean, normal people would just overdub it, right?
Well, I think all you got to do is put 5 guitars in 5 guys in the one room, and everyone just starts noodling.
Yeah,
Everyone wants to have a go.
Hey, I love the song, the title song, "Limit of Love." I think it's a hit. Did you guys realize that when you wrote it?
No, not at all. I don't think we realise it yet. Look, I appreciate you saying that, but we sort of set out to write an album that we felt was good from start to finish, and when you do that, you know, the album has to have balance. It's got to have some dynamics to it. It's got to have some ups and some downs. Limit of Love was the first track we wrote for the record, and that happened probably best part of 18 months ago. And I guess that was our reference point with which we based the rest of the tracks around, and we're pretty happy that it came out like it did, and hopefully people like it.
I think it's an amazing song, great lyrics as well. I was thinking, you have 3 records out now. Of course, you're #1 band in Australia, platinum records. You know, but now you come here. Of course, you played Europe many times, but you're still a small band here. I still think that probably this is the prime period of the band, you know. I mean, you had 3 fantastic records out, and that's already an achievement. It must be weird for you guys to be still a small band in Holland, right?
I think actually both sort of ways of playing shows is really important to us as a band. Like playing a club that is, you know, has 500 people in it, and the band's set up really close to each other on stage, and the audience is right there. I think that's a big part of how we form our sound, and how we write the songs that we write that we then choose to put on the record. So, you know, maybe there's more a larger audience in Australia, but I don't think that that's necessarily what it's all about. I think that we kind of still feel very fortunate that we get to travel all the way from Australia to America and to Europe and have people come to our shows, and it feels like we're building over here, and people are now finally getting onto our new albums as well. So hopefully, through some hard touring and hard work, we can have bigger audiences. But it is just as important for us to play in these small clubs. It's kind of where you learn your craft, where you get better as a band, and where you sort of learn how to communicate to the audience. And it's as important to us.
To me, it's because what I was referring to is like, of course, Coldplay is releasing a new album now. Fantastic, and the previous album great. But the really good stuff was the first two albums, But many people didn't know about them yet, so they missed out on actually the best part of the band, I think. Maybe it goes for you guys as well,
Well, I don't really think so. I think we sort of, our first album was tough to make. Like we were in the States and we didn't really get on with our producer, and we were young and we were pretty naive. And the second record was kind of like a bit of a healing process. We sort of were like, do we really want to make records? And the third record was just so fun to make. And our producer, Ethan Johns, was like, he's a hero of mine. So making the third record was just so fun. And I was like, yes, this is what I want to do. And this is how I want our records to sound. So I think the third record for us, if people listen to it, maybe it encompasses a little bit of everything we had on the first two, but it's more a live sound, and that's what we are. We're a live band, and I feel like it's a better representation of us as people and as musicians.
So his idea of a band should play live, and I want to record that to get this. I think it's a swing probably that you don't get when you record everything separate and you have like a million tracks on a computer. Yeah. It actually works.
It works. It's been working since the beginning of rock and roll. I mean, since the beginning of bands recording in studios. Basically, Ethan John's whole philosophy with us was that he encourages us to get the best performance out of our takes in the studio, and he has some great musical ideas. He's a great musician himself. He would play with us, and he basically wanted us to set up in the one room like we would in a rehearsal situation, just set up in a big circle and just play music together, and the songs speak for themselves, and if we get a great performance, and that's what's translated by him getting great sounds with state-of-the-art equipment, and we recorded in Real World Studios, which is Peter Gabriel's studio, so there was a lot of great things. But his enthusiasm for the music and his encouragement for the best possible performance helps you to get these live takes that hopefully feels very real and very honest to the songs and to the music that we're writing.
But he enforced some stuff too, right? I mean, Just Dump, you weren't really happy with that take, I hear?
Oh no, we were very happy with that one, but I think maybe what you picked, okay. There was a tune called Foxhole, and Dave Hosking was a little bit unsure about the vocal on that, only because he felt that he sort of had a bit of a huskiness in his voice. But of course, that's what everyone else loves about it, because we're like, man, you sound beautiful. And Ethan, definitely encouraged him and taught taught all of us you have to let go of your own personal performance. It's about how everything else is as a whole, and sometimes those mistakes, if you want to call it a mistake, are the best things about the song.
The Beatles are a massive influence to you guys, right?
Yeah, so our guitarist Killian, he's a big nerd. Like everything about the Beatles he knows. So and John Lennon and Paul McCartney and the Wings and all the George Harrison albums, and I think he stopped short of liking the Ringo Starr albums, but he knows everything, And I think basically classic music for us is the biggest influence. So whether it's Van Morrison or the Beatles, or whether it's Crosby, Stills and Nash or Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, we like where the roots of rock and roll come from, and I think that's because there's so much soul in it, and there's this ebb and flow. Like not everything's perfect, and we're not perfect as human beings. So it was just so nice to not have computers involved on this record, and to be able to do records like our heroes did them. And I'm not saying that we achieved, what the greatness that they achieved, but we definitely were far happier with following our heroes in the process of this record.
I love the sound, actually. I mean, I'm not. Well, how should I put this? It's easy to credit the sound to the producer. But of course, it's a band that creates the sound, so it does have a great feel, I think.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, Ethan's big thing is he's like, you guys have got to make the sound. You've got to mix this record for me by how you play, and he's so encouraging in the studio that I credit him with a lot of how this record sounds. But yeah, like he gave us freedom to choose what do you want to use on this, what drums, what guitars, what bass, what, and then he would choose the microphones, and we would just play as if we're a live band. And it's when you get a really good combination with a producer, there's nothing better really.
Hey, the video for Walk the Wire.
A little bit of fun for us, don't worry. Yeah, look, it's a Melbourne company called Oh Yeah Wow that we worked with on the last record on a song called Bridges. We'd done a clip with them, which is also really fun to make. But this one was definitely a lot of fun. There were some crazy comedians hanging on set. Pretty much we sort of had no idea what was going on. We got there and they kind of made us laugh, and we had no idea how it was all going to come together. But in the end, it's actually turned out really good. And these guys had a great vision. So
it's like one of the weirdest things I saw in a while, man.
Yeah, my best friend, he said, I can understand you on the moon, and then you can tell it's fake because then the picture drops out, and I'm with you. But then the crazy, Killian gets burnt, and then there's all these crazy guys running around. I don't understand. I said, mate, I'm sorry, I don't understand either. We just did what we were told. But I love it. It's cool. Like, I think it's the production company was just taking a bit of a shot at these perfect clips that are really ridiculous, that pop stars make, and in Australia we call it a piss take. We're sort of making fun of that sort of side of things, and the craziness is just so fun. It was amazing to be part of that. They just told us what to do and we did it, and we're pretty happy with it.
Hey, I saw some videos of you guys on Facebook. One of you running up an escalator. Where was that and how was that?
That's Killian. That was in Sweden. So we were in Stockholm last year in November, and Killian had a few beers and a couple of glasses of wine and maybe a couple of whiskeys, and then he
cost a fortune.
Well, exactly, and he decided that he could. No one else could do it. Everyone tried to get up the escalator. No one could do it. Then Killian tried, and he made it, and he ended up vomiting in a garden about 10 minutes later, but he made it up the top.
You didn't film that?
No, we didn't. No.
I think it must be said that we went to an old traditional restaurant there called Pelikan, which is a really old beer hall in Sweden, in Stockholm, but they serve really old school European big meals. He had like a pork knuckle like the size of this, and big beers. So I think running up those escalators definitely made him feel a little uneasy.
You guys actually like touring? I mean, you're 5 piece. You must be busy in the bus. Yeah, you like
I love touring. I think we love touring. As a band, I think we're lucky because we don't kill each other yet. We seem to really get on, and we have a lot of similar interests. I mean, there's hard things about touring. I think the travel is difficult because you're often different city every day, and you're doing a lot of flying, or especially from Australia. But the actual touring, like today, we've had a few hours in Amsterdam, and to sort of have the opportunity to wander around the canals and the streets and go to some museums. Tim's got a bit of Dutch heritage, actually. So
you do?
I do, yeah. So I've got family from Utrecht, and and they lived in Indonesia, and So my grandfather, who's passed away now, was Dutch, and I've got Dutch cousins, and.
So it must be weird for you to be here, right?
I love it. I really love it. It's sort of for me. It feels a bit like a second home when I come here, or to Utrecht, or we go to Nijmegen, or anywhere we go, like Rotterdam as well. It just feels really nice. I think the people are great. Everyone speaks English so well, and they forgive us for not speaking Dutch. Yeah, no.
You have no excuse, man. I mean, you should learn.
I never got taught, man. I would love to. The problem with Australia is it's just so far away from everything else. So you grow up, and by the time you're 18, you've done your whole schooling. I'd never went overseas before I turned 18, and so I've done my whole schooling and never really had any need to speak any other language. Whereas you Europeans are cultured, and you speak 4 languages. You probably speak 6.
We have to, man. I mean, you can see across the buildings. There's another country. I mean, it's so fucking small here.
I know, but it's amazing. And my brother, his girlfriend's a diplomat, and she speaks German and she speaks French, and it's a very rare thing for an Australian to do that. But maybe we'll get Dutch down one day.
Yeah. I like your word. You have this word lekker. Yeah, I mean, it's just like I think it's like just like a good vibe, good feeling, good food, like anything good. I think
2 things that are really that are good in the Dutch language is gezellig.
Oh yeah.
There is no way to translate that.
Yeah, right.
It means like it's cozy, but in a different way. And lekker is also like it's tasty, but not just in a tasty way as you can taste it, but it also feels good. So we do have we need that too, because we don't have sun. Normally it rains and we have snow. So, hey guys, of course you played Lowlands Festival. I saw your touring schedule for next year. What are your plans? More touring, more festivals in the summer?
Yeah, so we'll be back here obviously for a tour early in the year, and then we go home and do some Australian festivals, and then we'll be back for summer festivals, definitely in Europe and in the States as well. And then we're probably going to be back for a fall tour toward the end of the year as well, and in the States. So it's going to be a fairly full year next year, but something we're really looking forward to. We're looking forward to playing the new record to people.
Hey, I was just thinking, why are you guys here? I mean, your album is #1 in Australia. Shouldn't you promote and play there? I mean,
yeah, maybe, but like it's so beautiful over here. So.
I can't say the other word.
Well, it's really gezellig that you guys are here.
I just need to get that G down somehow. It's just tough. Yeah. Oh no, look, we've got a tour planned for Australia in January, so we come straight from that into the European tour in February, and we're looking forward to the Australian tour. But right now in Australia, I think everyone's too busy going to the beach. They don't want to come to shows, so we'll wait till January.
Hey, thanks so much for your time.
Thanks.